Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Gamestah TV for the HGC ANZ qualifier series. I am your host, Kitfox. It is round 2, and if you have just joined us, I will recap the results for the first round. We saw Nomia take down the Enigmatic Geniuses, or EG for short, on stream. But off stream, we saw Keep Yourself Safe. They defeated Teamzol. Meme Team took down Kanga, and Sasu took down Aleet. Now, we're going to throw over to Skimmy here for Teamzol versus Aleet. It will be Cursed Hollow. My goodness, get hyped.
That's the one, Cursed Hollow, for round number 2 between both of these teams, Vandie. Let's jump on into the draft and let's introduce both these teams. So Teamzol, some interesting names on this roster. And I'll be quite honest, the only name on that roster I recognize is Zeppelin. What about yourself there, Vandie?
On Teamzol. Oh, yep. We've got Zeppelin, who's also been just a bit of a strong community supporter. He's been around. Mad Worlds, I think, also rings a bell, but the others, they all look like newcomers to me, and that's what we want to see, Skimmy, the new faces, because this is how it all begins. This is how you start getting more competition. So yep, I'm totally okay with the new names.
Your grassroots level teams here starting on things, and like you said, this is what we want to see, and if they can get some good results and stick around, then hey, who knows, 4 weeks for you guys to play around. And let's be honest, guys, it's better than your team league where you have Q dodgers and you have people that you can rage at. You can actually get yourself on camera and justify to your parents that you're actually pursuing something worthwhile in your room. So let's jump on into the other team. We've got Team Aleet here. And, well, I'll be quite honest, once again, the only name that rings a bell, we got Goku, the Ratzer, Sin, TBH, Foe Pro, and Crazy Dave. And yeah, Goku's the only name on that roster that I recognize, so it's great to see a bunch of new players jumping on in. But let's get to the draft itself, Vandie. Let's touch base. Cursed Hollow, first ban. It's going to be on the good old Fire Lord himself, Ragnaros.
Perfect. And I think that's such a smart, clever one for Cursed Hollow, just because of Ragnaros's ultimate ability. Lava Wave, you can clear so efficiently, and once you get that curse going, oh my goodness, it's just so hard to sort of muster any defense, I guess, on that pressure incoming. So I can see why they don't want to deal with the Fire Lord himself this time around, and also another fire, in a way, ban with Diablo coming out.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's the biggest map in the game, so if you can get those 3 lanes utilized, pushing in the bot, Lava Wave in the top, you don't have the global, you're going to be at a bit of a stretch. Now, this is what I want to talk about, Dahaka. He's gone on to so many new changes. He's so strong now. And, well, you can see that's why he's being picked up so highly here. He's going to be combined with the Mouth. No surprises there. Mouth, well, he does so well in this current meta. But like last game, we're going to see a lot of prioritization on towards that Thrall. The Earthquake ability might then warrant a Rhaegar ban. Depends if they're going to go for it in this rotation.
I wonder if they will go Rhaegar. As we've seen, I guess, Oriole sort of come out a lot more as well, as long as she's got someone who can generate a lot of hope, as we saw with John doing in the game before. But seeing that Malfurion snag so early, Skimmy, it's like someone's listening to you or something. You've built up the hype for him so well.
These are your typical meta picks, and it's good to see that ANZ doesn't stray too far away from the norm, but let's be honest, anything is possible. We'll probably see Murky if we get onto Tales of the Doom, but let's not jump the gun right now. 8 seconds left in this draft. This is, well, it is going to actually result in the Rhaegar ban there. Maybe a bit of Rhaegar pick, sorry. Might be deliberating on that one for quite a while. Down to 0 seconds. What is going to be picked up? It is going to be the Vala, so the Hyper Beast carry accelerated and enabled by the Earthquake and the Bloodlust. Not the most, well, it's a pretty scary opening, I'm going to say that.
It is a scary opening. They've got heaps of damage, and so far all we're seeing, I guess, on the other team is just we've got their frontliner and the support. Yes, they've got good support, good frontliner, but what's their damage going to be? Because we're seeing a lot of high priority picks being snagged by the other team. So, I mean, what are we going to see here, Skimmy?
Well, I'd like to see a Fausted ban actually come out here because, you know, a comp like they have right now, it's pretty much all or nothing. Earthbind Totem, Earthquake, Bloodlust. You want to run at them and you want to kill them. And a Fausted Gust, well, what does that do? Negates absolutely everything. Gives them so much disengaged potential and really protects your roster. Now, they've gone for the ETC ban on their side. That prevents both the stage dive as well as the lockdown, which really aids to what the red side already have. But with 30 seconds on the clock, I'm thinking Fausted is an absolute given. Wouldn't be too surprised, though, if they went for a Zeratul ban too, because that pairs quite nicely with the Malfurion route.
It does indeed, but it looks like they're hovering over the Jaina for the moment, and I guess it could be a little bit of what was seen in the previous match. Jaina, if given sort of the opportunity to lay down the AoE, can be quite dangerous. But yeah, I'm not really seeing why that's such a high priority for them to ban.
Might be a pick that they're quite scared on. Might be thinking that, we're going to give you the Zeratul. We're not scared of the Zeratul, but we don't want you to combine it with that Jaina that we saw last game. Now, maybe they know something that we don't know. Maybe they don't know that this blue side have the best Jaina player in ANZ. But we'll have to wait
exactly.
and see.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Skimmy. In fact, that was even on my mind. I'm like, maybe there's just a pro Jaina that we're just not sure about. And another Zul'jin getting priority picked here.
Look at that, fresh out the press, and he's going to show himself in competitive spirit. 2 out of 2 games right now, combined with Ethereal. Well, that's a lot of invulnerability. 2 frontliners come into your door, and, well, once again, that's almost like that Fausted that we're talking about. If you try and engage them, pop that sanctification, what are you going to do now? You can't touch any of us.
Couldn't have said it any better myself, Skimmy. I was just going to praise that Tyrael pick exactly for the same reasons you were saying. It's just sanctification so safe. What are you going to do when that fella, Rhaegar, Thrall come and knocking? Just lay down sanctification. It's all good, guys. It's all good.
What I'm wondering, though, Vandie, is are we going to see Zul'jin still go for the Taz Dingo and effectively give himself 2 outs? Or is he going to go for the guillotine where, you know, he wants to get engaged on, sanctification comes across, and then tons of damage, like a 2k burst, smacks your entire team in the face. Well, there goes your bloodlust because you're gone.
I was entertaining the same notion. I'm like, maybe he wants Taz Dingo to be, I guess, extra unkillable, or like you said, maybe we're going to see the guillotine finally come out. It's been the, I guess, lesser picked talent of the two, because generally he's not being paired up with things like Ethereal that can sort of extend his invulnerability.
Well, there we see it. Kitfox is making his way on into this game, and well, quite recently he's been going for a more flame strike orientated build, so a lot of damage from the back line. It does have a bit of risk at level 1 in terms of making sure that you do get that quest talent up without dying, but the rewards definitely do give you so many zoning potentials, and the fact that they've paired that with Johanna gives them great engage to start off things. They got the movement speed at 7, you got the blessed shield to actually get the party started, and on top of that, well, as the combined SM Orc power, Earthquake, and Bloodlust. Well, Kerrigan is the last pick here. Tons of aggression coming out. Not the best map for Kerrigan, actually. Usually prioritize on those smaller maps. But Vandie, what do you think about that last pick?
I thought it was quite interesting. I think this is going to be a comfort pick, and maybe they want it to act similar to, I guess, the way the Zeratul was being played last game. Just sort of getting in people's faces, looking for that pick. And Kelthus is essentially a sitting duck right there. So if he's left exposed, Kerrigan can essentially leap into him and just sort of rip him apart. So I think that's kind of the mentality there, because Kelthus is low mobility. So I don't see it being too weird, but as you said, the synergy could go a little bit AWOL there.
Because I was thinking that was their final pick. It was going to be the Fausted. They got a heavy melee presence now, really relying on that Zul'jin from the backline to pump at the deeps, but nonetheless, as you said, must be a comfort pick for that one. And it's almost like the Royal Rumble. We had those 2 teams, and it was like 2 fists combining into each other. Kerrigan wants to jump in and try and stun you out, but they want to try and jump in with the Bloodlust combination. So which meta is going to prevail in this one? Cursed Hollow is loading on up. Let's start with that blue side. Let's go over the picks. Zepline, he's playing Tyrael. Rotos is on Malfurion. Madworld is on Kerrigan. Merifax is on the newly placed Zul'jin. And Superstition is playing Dahaka.
And Team Elite, red team, we've got the Ratzer on Valor, Crazy Dave on Johanna, 4Pro on Kelthar, CYN on Rhaegar, and Goku playing Thrall.
The battle begins.
Well, guys, Teamzol up against Elite. Let's get some noise in the Twitch chat for both these teams. Newcomers to the ANZ scene for Season 1 of 2017, punching their tickets, hopefully towards the HGC. Doors are unlocked, 5 members on both sides going towards mid. And if it's like the 2 knuckles combining, I am looking for some Chaos and Carnage level 1.
Chaos and Carnage. That's the name of the game right there. But we've got a very, very, I guess, careful Team Elite. They are not wanting to face check anything, Skimmy, until they see where everyone's at, and they're waiting for their minions to do the face checking for them.
It's almost like they're going to play it so passively. They say, look, guys, let's just lose the early game. Let's get to level 10, and then we win, right? We can't go wrong. But then goes the combo into a huge entangling roots, knocking down everybody so low. Faux Pro down to 150, and that was the target we mentioned. We thought it'd be Kelthar as a sitting duck. Forced to pop that, well, extremely early on. It gives him a lot of lane pressure, because he's going to go down to the bot lane against Big Daddy Dahaka.
Big Daddy Daddy Dahaka. And I mean, we can already see that primal aggression talent being picked. So he's going to be wanting to do the split effectively and I guess as often as possible. So they need to keep an eye on that one.
Look, in the top lane, the Chinese Korean meta, they're going to go for it, but they don't connect with the stun. Madbone unfortunately misses the combo. That could have been disastrous. Marifak's doing so much damage, and it's almost awkward because you actually want to take damage. It's almost like you don't want to tell your healer to heal you because you do more when you're low. It's a fine balance, but he's going to go for the combo once again. It looks like the Entangling Roots does connect this time. There goes the Kerrigan stun. They're looking for the damage onto Sin. First blood. Well, it does get juked a little bit longer. We return back to laning situations 2-2 early on into this one.
I mean, we can see Crazy Dave trying to sort of set up for a gank here now, Skimmy. They want to play it aggressive as well, deal some damage back, but I don't know if it's the right time.
Well, the Entangling Roots have been good so far. Brotos going to land once again. Madwell just misses out the stun once more, but they're going to go for a crazy exchange. It's a 3v3 skirmish up in this top lane. Wells have been used and mana's being consumed at a rapid rate here. If we turn our attention to the mid lane, well, it's always going to be a case of Fro winning that one. Zeppelin will have a hard time on that turret. They're really just looking to try and sustain and stoke, but he's actually going to try and go for a bit of a duel here. You can see that Goku's just not phased whatsoever. Lightning Shield using, well, so much sustain. It's just too good.
It really is. Frostwolf resilience. It's just what makes Frost such a bully in lane, especially in a 1v1. And it's why you can just sort of sit in lane for a while. So it's going to be a bit of a tough matchup. Oh, but in that moment there, Valor has dropped Skimmy.
Yeah, Brotos. I mean, he's been on it with these stuns and he lands another one and goes, Madwell, look, mate, you don't have to actually get it yourself. I'll land them for you. Let me just set you up, fam. And he does go for it. He gets the towers as well. Both these towers are out of ammo because they've been pushing it in all day long. And this tribute has pitched itself quite nicely. Brotos can casually stroll on over, pick that one up, grab a regen all for his troubles, and run back to lane. But Madwell goes, look, mate, you know, I was saying that I needed all your help, but I can actually get these kills on my own. And he uses the last inkling of his mana to pick up that kill on Joanna.
It's rough right there. I mean, the tribute just rewarded them so well for taking out poor Ratza right there and then. But it's alright, it's only the first one. There's plenty more to come. But they just need to, I guess they don't have the lane pressure right back. And Madwell playing it so aggressively with Mouth being able to just top him right back up, Skimmy. So he's really not afraid, showing no fear, these guys.
A lot of pressure in that top lane. If I actually have a look at the bot lane, switching our attention down there now, let's look at Kelfast. Now, he has gone for that level 1 talent, Convection. He is looking to hit as many flame strikes as possible. He's getting hurt quite badly, actually, by being the solo laner here, not able to pick up as many stacks as he would like. If we look at the talent itself, only hit one hero so far. Needs to hit that 19 more times before that really gets any huge power spike. But once again, in the top lane, that is where the carnage and the action is all going on. Joanna forced to pop that iron skin to get out of harm's way. And she does, but once again, a lot of pressure. The Ratza is dropped so low, and it almost begs the question, why are you sitting in lane? You need to go back before this next tribute spawns.
The choice.
I think he just wants to stay to just sort of support the team. And I mean, Sin is not really low on mana, can top him back up, but he needs to be careful because it just dropped all the way back down there.
Yeah, dead once again. Iron Skin has popped to get out of that mouth route, and they're going to go for the rotate. Chiro is going to be late for this one. Kelfast has already gone through to the mid lane, and Brotos is going to be sitting patiently from the backside looking to go for this one. Dahaka's going to come in the pincer maneuver from the top, and the bottom comes across. Oh, Kerrigan actually doesn't land the combo. That's going to hurt them quite badly because Marifak's is down to 50 health. Met at 100. He does get away. Madwell flanks to the side on his own, but he's got support from the rest of his team now. Superstition is coming on in. Primal aggression slashing through like a Beyblade, picking up a double kill now. Brotos is going to pick up the second tribute of the game, and this is them looking quite strong to start things off here, Vandie.
It was a very, very split fight by Aleet. I mean, because of, I guess, the way Madwell came into the fight, poor Valor was just caught so unaware and just sort of didn't really know what to do with no team members to really sort of back her up. The heal was down and Madwell copying a lot of damage. The heal was down and then she was just sort of left to be picked off, and then after she fell, they didn't really have any damage. It was so split. They were chasing people on the other side of the map when in fact their backline was just being taken out before their eyes.
Looking at level 4, we have Laws of Hope being taken by Johanna. Now, I remember reading an article before on Reddit about the math behind going for Amplified Healing or Laws of Hope, and I believe they actually worked it out to be that in so many different circumstances, Laws of Hope still actually pulls ahead, which is an interesting one to number crunch. But we actually go across a few of the other talents. Lightning Bond picked up at level 1 there. We typically see that on maps like Infernal Shrines or even similar Spider-Con, where you're trying to clear as much as possible, but it really adds more flavor and sort of fighting power to this all-in comp. They want to dive in, pounce in with the wolf, and really secured that level 1 kill, that first kill in the exchange, sorry.
But I mean, they need to be worried because level 10 has been reached and they're already picking up the heroic talents. So we're seeing Sanctification, Twilight Dream, Maelstrom, Tezdingo, as well as Adaptation. So that's a tough roster. They probably have to let this one go, but it means that they might fall a little bit more behind in experience as the curse will sort of come. But if they can just sort of defend and not get picked off, they should be able to weather it without too much harm being done. And they can catch up on the level difference happening right now, Skimmy.
Well, we've seen the Tezdingo there, and it's actually going to really allow him to stay alive for as long as possible. He is going to be one tough nugget to crack, and he is going to try and take full advantage of that one. 4 members of Teamzol pushing through, make that 5 as Tero rocks up to the party. They're going to go through and look for a keep. Well, the rest of Elite are pretty fragmented here. Valo is in the bot lane. They've got 2 members in the top. Only one at this stage looking for the defense. It is Sin. It's on Rhaegar. He's dropped quite low. Does manage to get away. And Crazy Dave, he's being pretty crazy. He just runs straight through his own gate. Almost zoned out of his own base. Not the best time for him. Mad World, or he's looking for the combo. He's trying to lead his team to success. The combo doesn't hit once again. And Zepline, he's up against 4. Looking to pop that Sanctification. It comes across now, denying a fair bit of damage. They are huddled around like a tight unit, looking to try and bomb through whatever they can find. They've taken out 2 towers. The curse still has 20 seconds to go, but the whole team is here now. It's a 5v5. Level 10 is still not being taken by Elite. They are a quarter level away. Iron Skin being used to stay alive a little bit longer, but they go for the turn on aggression. Superstition forced to pop Burrow. The adaptation gives them so much sustain, not to mention the essence there. And they've lost their window for that level 10 power spike. Marifex might just drop. And the Hungering Arrow does fade away. And that's an interesting point here, Vandie. Look at the build coming out of Vala.
I have been looking at it, and I've been a little bit puzzled. I can see, I guess, why she took Caltrops, just to try and finish that quest and get enough Volt to sort of throw off the Kerrigan and be quite mobile. But then the rest is not really making much sense to me. I mean, yeah, it's not, I guess, it's not the Vala build that we've seen currently. Most people will either favor, I guess, the auto-attack build or multi-shot build. So this is a bit of a different one for me. But, I mean, it seems to be working with deaths being low.
Damage-wise, I have to watch that output, because I know the only time we've tend to see that Hungering Arrow build comes on the Battlefield of Eternity, mainly for the fact that you can do so much amplified damage at level 1. The talent he actually hasn't picked up, but the core crux as to behind why you would go for it. Looking just a lot more utility here and self-sustain. Now, he has gone for the Rain of Vengeance, gives them a lot more lockdown potential added to that Bloodlust Earthquake. And, well, they're quite lucky there to actually not lose any casualties in that base defense. The keep still has 50% remaining. The boss now has actually been taken by Teamzol, looking to add far more pressure to the siege. Golems are in the bot lane to try and defend, but this is when we want to start watching these team fights. Surely a fight is going to break out. It is level 13 in favor of Zol, but they are going for the aggressive steal, and Elite, they surely have to know.
Teamzol is just playing a really, really, I guess, smart game. They're just trying to put as much pressure on where they can to just sort of keep Elite back in their base and just sort of, I guess, running around the map as silly. I mean, if Goku's not careful, he could be in for a surprise.
Yeah, Goku's going to rock up to the party. He's forced to pop the Earthquake here, but he's actually going to get comboed regardless. Sanctification comes across, and that's a burnt ultimate down for 95 seconds. He's going to be up in 20, but this really hurts their combo. It's so well-rounded and built around that one ultimate in particular. And now they are forced to defend. A boss in the bot lane just finally taken down. They've stolen the boss in the top lane. They are coming through once again. Try at number 2, looking for a keep. They want to secure a win condition. And the siege now begins, Vandie. 14 to 11, 5 kills to 0. Teamzol are not giving up anytime quickly.
So aggressive, because they can be. That Malk is just keeping them so topped up, and they're just such a beefy front line.
Well, they go for the adaptation. He's going to get the drag onto 1. The combo comes across from Kerrigan once again, and actually Voss is going to be MVP. No, they actually have to pop the Bloodlust to run away from that one. Sin so low, but Joanna is righteous. She is the tank. She dies for her sins and makes sure the rest of her team is protected. The rats are out of mana. Can't really do too much there when your build is all reliant on that mana gem. And that boss now is getting distracted, going for the core. Gives them a time, gives them a window to actually go through the mid lane, pick up a second keep for their troubles. And you might actually see Superstition here just borrow away for free and pick up that tribute.
That's, I guess, the benefit of having that global pressure. But, I mean, it's finally, I guess, a little bit of a window for Elite to catch their breath and just sort of, I guess, take stock of where they are. They're almost going to be 1 talent behind. Or is that 2 talents now, Skimmy?
Well, level 16 is so close for the side of Teamzol. They might actually pick it up before 13's acquired. They're going to be, well, so many talents ahead. It's ridiculous at this stage, even further ahead than Nomiya were last game. And this is Cursed Hollow at its finest. The lanes are going to be pushing in. You're forced to go back, and Sin's going to get stunned out here. Earthquake comes across. Let's slow down the enemy team. Let's get an Earthquake out there. Let's get the Rain Adventure too, but let's actually deny that because we've got Sanctification on top to prevent all of that going through. Twilight Dream was used. They nearly sniped that kill on towards Crazy Days, but he does live a little bit longer, but it doesn't matter because Vala has dropped now. That's all their damage going across. Make that the second damage dealer taken out of contention. Thrall gone off the board, down for 20 seconds. They are still looking for more. They are on the steps. They are on the stairway to the Nexus, and they are now on towards the core. Superstition popping an adaptation saying, look, I can do damage, but I also can sustain against 3 members. You've got Bloodlust. I just don't care. Unkillable. Taz Dingo has been popped. He's going to use it to try and survive. The core is dropping down 30%, going even further. Joanna has now finally dropped. Vandie, this is looking like Teamzol taking out round number 2.
Good game indeed, Skimmy, and just happened in just, I guess, such a quick instant. It was just both bosses taken, the curse was on, and just the push was just non-stop for Aleet. They just couldn't catch any breaks, and even Sin managing to run away a lot of the times and stay alive, but then another team member was sacrificed in the trade. So it was just a bit of a tough game for those guys, and really just that bullying potential from, I guess, Kerrigan coming out, from Tyrael coming out. They just couldn't do anything. They didn't really have, I guess, the correct defense or the correct tools to sort of deal with that.
Unfortunately, Kelfast didn't really get to find as much value as he would have liked, but he did still bring the numbers, finishing that game off 34k damage for Hero. But let's bring it back forward. Round number 2, who was the MVP for this one? I'm putting a lot of attention towards Brotos there because he really set the tempo with those entangling roots up in that top lane and allowed them to snowball that advantage.
I was thinking the same thing. I was saying Brotos was going to be the unsung hero there. Just all of those heals going out and just his timing of everything, just keeping his team so well healed up. As you said, he was such a good enabler and such a good team player. So, yep, I'm going to give it to Brotos.
Well, there you go, Brotos. You are into the draw. MVP for round number 2. Get yourself in for a chance to win that Plantronics headset after the 4-week lead has concluded. But that brings us for round number 3 right after the short interval. We're going to bring you back on over to Kitfox, the man in the moment, as we get ready to bring you some more ANZ Heroes of the Storm.
Thank you very much, Skimmy and Vandie. What a match there, Zol Nation, getting themselves up. And if you have just joined us, we're just going to recap a few of the results that we've seen this evening. In the rounds 1, Nomiya took down Evil Geniuses. Keep Yourself Safe defeated Teamzol. Meme Team took down Kanga. And a bit of trivia for you, Kanga is actually the best Paladins team going around in Paladins at the moment. It's actually Abyss. They've renamed themselves to come and play a bit of HotS, and Sasu took down Aleet. But Nomiya looks like they've taken down the Meme Team in round 2. Just waiting for that score to be confirmed on stream. Of course, we saw Teamzol take down Aleet. Just waiting on results for the Enigmatic Genius versus Kanga, as well as Keep Yourself Safe and Sasu. Again, a big, just a public service announcement. If you do have friends, family, just laying around, get them into Twitch because we will be giving away a little Ragnaros bundle. I need to correct myself from before. We did say it was a skin. It is, in fact, the whole shebang. The bundle, the hero, the skin, the works. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back very, very soon for Towers of Doom right here on Gamestah TV.